What's up, y'all? Hope you can hear me good. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Give everybody a couple more minutes to get in here and we'll get started. Anybody got any questions? Make sure you leave them in the chat. Okay. Running behind today. We're gonna get together though. We're gonna get together. Get y'all's answers answered today. Give everybody a couple minutes and then we'll get started, man. Hopefully, I think today's video is gonna be fun. anybody who's watching this on the playback, anybody who's gonna watch this, I'm gonna try to keep this video pretty brief for you guys so that you can come in and just kind of get some tips, some tangible things you can actually do to get your stuff together privately. And I think that hopefully this video gets passed around, and if anything I say in here resonates with you or this could apply to somebody else, please don't forget to share it with somebody who because somebody might be able to benefit even if it's not you, right? So make sure everybody gets what they need. Well, you know what? Let's get started. Anybody who catches this on the playback, you catch it on the playback, but what's up? Appreciate you for logging in. Flex, you said you're about to go to bed. I appreciate that, man. All right. Well, look, let's get started. You can watch this on the playback. Hopefully it's not too long for you guys, and let's get right into it. So, what to do if you have bad genetics? Okay, if your genetics are bad, all hope is not lost for you. And a lot of times we talk about what are bad genetics. Bad genetics it's pretty much just like the cards you were dealt. And sometimes you get dealt a bad hand in certain things, and there's nothing you really can do about it. You find out that okay, certain demographics they can't grow calves, or certain demographics they don't have this or they don't have that, or maybe you have that type of thing where it's like, man, I got the worst genetics on each side of my family. What am I supposed to do now? I'm shaped like whatever. And so there are special cases where everybody's not going to start off like, oh, you know what, you got great potential. Everybody doesn't have great potential, but the thing is, you have to kind of master your body a little bit more. And I think for people who have bad genetics, you can't just pick up a workout program and then do somebody's workout program. And a lot of times, even when you think you can just do somebody's workout program because you want to look like them, you may not even have the capabilities of getting in, the shape that you think you probably can get into, or your idea of what is in shape. Sometimes people have never even been in shape before, and so they don't even know. You could go through your whole life just looking one way, and having your body a certain way, even as a teenager, until you're middle school or to an adult, and you pretty much are just going through life with this body, so you've never really seen what the best version of your shape looks like. And when you don't really know what your best shape looks like, it's going to be kind of hard to chase something, because you don't know what your body can even do. And that's where it gets tricky. And so you start getting to, oh, well, do I just need to get all this fat off? Or do I just need to build more muscle? Do I just need to get surgery? Am I stuck with this? Am I stuck with that? And you turn to a conundrum. And so a lot of times you hear those type of things, and that means, possibly you can have bad genetics. And it just means that you got to work a little bit harder because your body doesn't respond as well to certain things. And you may not have the aesthetic potential as somebody else, but you still have your own aesthetic potentials. You just got to be real specific on how you work out. And I think that's the thing where if you don't have the greatest genetics, it's probably better to be honest in the beginning, because then you can strategize a workout program to really tap in and exploit your good areas versus just doing something and then growing that already awkward shape frame. You know what I'm saying? Because all you do, you might add a workout program or a diet, but it might just enhance the awkward. So we got to make sure that you're doing something specific so that you can actually develop the features that you want to do, right? So that's bad genetics. So we're going to talk about how to get around it, all right? So the first thing, or really the second thing, is you want to focus on calisthenics because you want to find balance first, all right? So hopefully y'all understand where I'm coming from. if you focus on calisthenics, it's a full body weight. They're full body weight exercises. All right. When you start doing full body weight stuff, your frame has to learn what it's supposed to do naturally, and then you get a chance to see what you're supposed to look like with no weights. And when you start to see what your body's supposed to look like with no weights, without having any added assistance or doing any of the um, trying to grow muscle things, like, okay, I don't look great, but I'm gonna start taking protein and eating good and doing all this other stuff and change it. Like, so when you do all that at once, it's cool. But the problem is that if you have a bad physique and you don't really know what made your physique bad, or your genetics don't really work against you, or you don't really respond as fastly as everybody else, you want to do exercises that are only your own body weight, so that your body can find some type of settling balance to see where your foundation is at. And then once you build a decent foundation of what you could look like with no weights, and kind of just have an idea of, oh, okay, that's my body with no weights, and I see what it can do. Like, you'll get an understanding of what you can look like when you grow, because the way you look at your calisthenics best is the step one for you. And then you take that calisthenics look and you want to start growing that look. But you don't want to just start growing any old thing, because when you grow that awkward shaped physique with the exterior things like dieting and exercising and just putting on top of that awkward shape, you're gonna have a bigger awkward shape versus a detailed shape where you need to be more specific about certain things. So make sure you do calisthenics first. Find your balance, find your shape, figure out what your symmetry is supposed to look like at its best. And your best isn't somebody else's best. And so don't compare that. Like, don't be worried about that. Just find that balance first. Shake the dust off, get the excess body fat off, and try to find some symmetry in your body if you can by doing that type of stuff. And when I say doing calisthenics, you got to make sure you're doing a lot. Like, you got to do, leg raises and a lot of pull-ups and stuff, because all of those things focus on your midsection of your core as well. And so, our mind is, okay, my body looks kind of awkward, I don't have the greatest physique, what's the first thing I can do to kind of give me something, right? So focus on your midsection first, especially when you're doing calisthenics. Like, you do your leg raises, do anything that's upper body that requires you to involve all your moving parts. And when you start doing that, then you'll see, okay, your body's moving as one, and then you'll get areas of your body that may have not been worked regularly with basic exercises. Like, let's say you're doing pull-ups, you might get all the way down here into your obliques from doing certain things, versus somebody who's just doing a regular, pull down machine. It might just be focusing on just the lat itself. And we focus on just the lat. Yeah, your lat can grow, but what about the other stuff that you might have needed to incorporate in by doing, pull-ups and stuff like that, and by doing high reps of them and really tearing down your muscles. So keep that in mind, okay? Focus on calisthenics first, and then find your foundation. See what you're supposed to look like without any weights, okay? Now, the second thing, or the third thing rather, is don't just add weights until you have a decent body. So once you get to the point where, okay, I've been doing my calisthenics for a while, like, I see what I could look like. I know what's coming along. I know what I could do if I had X, Y, and Z. And so when you know that, like, once you kind of get the idea of what you can do, and you see what the hope for the future is, you know what I'm saying, in your body, you don't just want to add weights to it, like I said before, because then you'll grow awkward. Which, when you know what your body's supposed to look like, then you add weights. Now, when I say add weights, you have to make sure that you're doing things that are specifically focused for what's going to make you look the best. All right. So here's where it gets kind of tricky. There's only but so much hope for you. Like, let's be fair. There's only but so much. I don't want you thinking to yourself, okay, I got to look like him. I got to look like that person. Now the next step is looking like that. No, it's not that. It's not about trying to look like somebody else. This is, be honest with yourself. You don't have the greatest genetics, but we need to make you look like something. You got to turn into something to where it's like, okay, this is helpful, and now I know what at least to do so I can get some, a decent physique, or at least grow something. And everybody doesn't have all around everything, so don't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody has something lacking somewhere. So just anybody can use this information. So don't be feeling bad. But the tough part is, you don't just want to add weights until you have a decent body. So when you have your decent body, and now you're like, okay, this is where I can look like. Now you want to add the weights, because this is time for your sculpting and time for your symmetry. but you're sculpting something that isn't necessarily there. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if we know you've done, you've got your natural shape, and we know what you could look like, right? You know what your calisthenics body is, right? You got that complete. Let's put that to the side. Okay. Now let's add some weights to this calisthenics body. Okay. So when you add your weights to the calisthenics body, what would yours need mostly to stand out better? Do you need wider shoulders? Okay, now you're gonna start doing exercises that only focus on building shoulder width this way. It might be narrow. You know what I'm saying? So instead of you now just doing I'm gonna just do 50 different shoulder exercises. No, you may not want to do a lot of shoulder exercises. You might want to find one that focuses on building the exterior shape of your body a certain way, because now you're focusing on a silhouette, not just now I got to get details. Don't focus on details. You may never get details anyway. Like, we just need to get you looking decent to change your structure. We don't want you looking like what you used to look like. This is a body composition, a body composition style adjustment. And so when you're trying to change the structure of your physique, you got to go into kind of like extreme measures. And so when I say you want to build the width on your shoulders and you want to make them look wider, it's only about focusing on building dimensions. Like, okay, shoulder width, all right, chest here, all right, abs more narrow. And then once you start having that structure where you're only doing exercises that are complementing your original physique, you'll see that you're making a lot of changes. But don't do exercises that are just like all around compound stuff. Like, all right, I look halfway decent now, let's just start deadlifting. No, like, don't do that. Like, you can do that sometimes, but that's not a very aesthetic exercise. That's more for just growing and power and doing all that stuff. So what'll happen is you may get stronger and stuff, but because you turn into now a deadlifter, you didn't adjust to getting a small waist and building the symmetry and all the other stuff. Now you're just working on power and growing. And of course, your awkward body already is now just doing, heavy exercise, and everything is just going to grow at once. All you're going to do is just pronounce the already, rigid shape. So you got to make sure your shape is good first, and then you start adding on that extra weight. And so, you can sculpt yourself, but make sure you got the good symmetry, and then add the weights to it once you're done. Right. And then the last thing is, if I were you, I would only do exercises, like, only going forward, only do exercises that add more balance to my physique. And so now your workout program isn't as like, it isn't as like, I could do anything, or I could do whatever workout over there. It's not about that. It's only about doing exercises that add structure and balance to your frame so that you could specifically look better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only so that you can look different, so that you can just, have a shape that you like to do. So what I mean by that is having a shape. Let's say, for example, we're doing, chest exercises, right? And you want your chest to look a certain way. Instead of you just doing bench pressing just to make your chest grow, you'll do more things that are focused on, like, cable chest flies for symmetry. You know what I mean? Like, just weird stuff to really get the shape of it. Incline dumbbells, decline dumbbells, more specific stuff to really build the shape of what your body needs, versus just flat bench, make my chest grow. Because make my chest grow doesn't give you the details of, okay, my chest needs to grow here, so now I look better like this, and I look better like that. So you just got to be real careful on what it is that you're asking for. Anyway, I know this video today was kind of weird, but not that many people have bad genetics. And so, of course, we need to do exercises that we know kind of bring up that body part, or a weak body part. Weak body parts is different. But just the overall, like, I need help type of shape, or what do I do next? Like, I want to go in here and make the right things, or do the right things. Yeah, you have to definitely, you got to be careful, because your workout style isn't the same as somebody else's. And what will happen is you'll end up getting caught up in chasing the dream. And, it just takes a lot longer like that. Like, so if you're kind of honest with yourself and know you need to work out specifically, do those things and focus on that originally, and not, don't focus too much on just taking anybody's workout or doing whatever and thinking that it's going to work out, because it may not really work in your favor. And it's all about looking a certain way at that point when you have bad genetics. It's not about, performing and being able to say, well, I got bad genetics, but I can bench X, Y, and Z. I don't look good, but I can do whatever. So if you focus on aesthetics and focus on looking better, do those things and keep that in mind when you're training. And hopefully That'll take you to the next level. So that's all I got. Let me look at these questions. You said Sebastian Salazar. You said, "What's up, bro? I noticed that when I train, I get anxiety and panic attacks." Okay, interesting. Any help to fix that? Well, the anxiety and panic attack thing, of course, that's a psychology type thing. You got to figure out what it is in your mind that's giving that to you, and maybe you getting triggered by something in the gym. Maybe it's people around you and stuff like that. If it's that serious, and you got it, and you know that when you train, then you getting it. Maybe you need to either change your training style, change your music, don't go over there no more. But you got to do the work anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say just push through it and deal with it, but technically, find a way around it. You got to work out from home instead. That's just what you got to do. But work on your sanity first, and then you'll never really grow if you can't get your your home stuff fixed first. So work on this, and then be able to take it to the gym. Bluto, you said, how can I think of fitness as more of a lifestyle rather than some 90-day challenge or 2-month transformation? Well, the way to even see it as more of a challenge or transformation is, one, incorporate the things into your lifestyle. I made a video about that before. Don't start something that you can't keep up forever. Like, that's my thing with anything in life. Like, and this is one of them, life advice things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I prefer not to start anything that I know I can't continue forever, right? Or for the foreseeable future. And so if you get into a situation with a workout program and it only has a deadline on it, then what? Like, if you don't meet your quota by that deadline, then what? You got to keep on restarting and doing it over. And a lot of times when you have those extreme deadlines, or it's get in shape in a couple of days, or get in shape 2 months, 6 months, transformation, blah, 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 all that stuff, it doesn't really give your body time to get used to the adjustments that it needs to make it a lifestyle adjustment. It's more like quick. And once you're done with it, it's like, okay, I look good, but what now? What do I do with it? And that's tough because you can still get in shape, but it's like, well, now what? How do I maintain this? And it's going to lead you back to the same thing. It's going to lead you back to all the stuff that I'm saying. Make it a lifestyle and slow and steady and just maintain it versus trying to get a quick fix. Anytime you're trying to do something like that, like a challenge like that, a 2-month challenge, use that as just something to get you started. And then once you're started, now start doing your real stuff. But if you're not, like, use it as a tool. Don't use it as something to, like, you got to always only do 2-month challenges and 90-day challenges and stuff like that. Use it as a tool. Okay, let's see. Oh, Sebastian said, don't get anxious from people, more like exercises mimics what would happen if a panic attack my body thinks I'm having one. So like shorted breaths, faster breathing beats is what happens when you have anxiety attacks. Yeah, if you have an anxiety attacks, like, it might just not be good to be there. And whatever it is from the exercises, sometimes maybe the exercises just aren't good for your body. Like, it might be something that's just, you need to just slow down or change your music. I don't know. You got to find what's making, like, only thing you can do is go in there, try it again. Once you start having it, look at your surroundings, see what's going on, and figure out what just triggered you. And if something you can handle triggers you, if it's the exercise that made you do that, or it's something specific, remove it, or avoid it, or something like that, or going at a certain time of day, or maybe it's you thinking people are watching you while you're doing it, like you look crazy or something like that. Like, all of that type of stuff couldn't matter. So you got to change your your time of day to go work out or something. It's a lot of caveats to that. So I would never know. Maybe get a trainer, have somebody help you and assist you and spot you or something, so that you don't have to think about it. It could be a combination, but it's really a lot of mental stuff, especially when it's affecting your performance, because it's two different things. You still got to perform, and then it's still everything that's going on here, and that's the tough part. You know what I mean? Like, okay, all this is happening, but I still got to do the work. What do I do? So you just got to figure out how to mitigate that damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has something special. Yola, you said, if you want to build muscle and lose weight, should I lose weight before trying to build muscle? No, you don't necessarily need to lose weight before or after. You just do the combination, and that's when it comes into picking up a workout style that's going to make you grow, and then also doing a diet that's going to take off some of that junk off your body so that you can actually see what you look like. And so don't focus on just trying to lose weight or build muscle. Just do the combination of all the right things. My cardio, dieting appropriately and lifting weights for growth, like for hypertrophy to tear your muscles down. So you do those key things, and then eventually the body will kind of settle and you'll lose that weight and build muscle at the same time. You might be lighter by the time it all makes sense, but it'll still work regardless. You can do it like that. So don't be too worried. Just stop eating too much junk if you can. All right, he said, Sebastian, he said, do I think this would be an impediment to growing muscle? No, I don't think so. I think you just got to find a strategy to make it to where you can be your max self at a certain time, or it might even be to the point where you got to work your muscle groups, twice a week or something like that. Like there's always a way around it. You might have to go in there for 30 minutes and do shoulders real fast and then leave and then come back another day and then do shoulders, like, finish them up another day, something like that. You worked it Monday and then Wednesday. So maybe like the more you start getting in there, maybe if it's shorter workouts, like just try stuff. Like there's a combination of things, but if you're thinking and you're able to write, do I think this will be an impediment, like a hindrance to your growth development? You have to make sure that just do whatever you need to do to keep on going in there, because you'll find a way around it. If you're looking for something long enough, you'll find it. So just keep on, just keep on trying. Anyway, hopefully this stuff was helpful to you guys. If you got any questions or if there's anything that you need assistance with, feel free to leave your comments below and I'll try to make a video later. But otherwise, thanks for watching and I will see you guys in the next video. Right.